Well, this year our exhibition is called Ireland, Our People in Landscape, and basically it covers 200 years of how the Irish people were depicted by artists. And it would start, the very earliest piece would be Nathaniel Grogan, which is a small little piece from 1783. It's just come back from the Ava Gallery where it was in the Butts Grogan exhibition in the Crawford. And so it was the earliest piece. And then it goes on to the 19th century, and then the vast majority of the pictures would be naturally enough from the 20th century. So the next early piece would be Erskine Nicol's Shebeen at Donnybrook. Now, Erskine Nicol was actually a Scottish artist rather than an Irish artist. He came to Ireland around 1846, and he set up a studio in Westmeath, and he stayed there for about 5 years. Now, this is a wonderful work. It's full of vibrancy and life, and full of lovely interior details. And what it basically shows is as a sort of a den public house during the Donnybrook Fair. Now, the Donnybrook Fair went on for several weeks every year and eventually got banned in the 1850s. But it's a wonderful depiction sort of Irish people. Some people would suggest that it's a little stage Irish, but I think just with all the interior details and the quality of paintmanship, I think it's very, very interesting. Then beside it we have a picture by Richard Thomas Moynan. Now, Moynan had went and studied over at the Antwerp School of Art and actually was there and became friendly with Van Gogh. And this would be a Punch and Judy show. It was exhibited in the RHA in 1892, and it's sort of just wonderfully sort of vibrant, showing sort of the Irish people at play. And contrasting completely and utterly with that, on this wall would be Henry Allan. Henry Allan was actually at the Antwerp Academy at the same time as Moynan. This shows the rag pickers, which really shows extreme poverty, because what these ladies are doing are actually out in the dumps looking for cotton. And what they did is they accumulated the cotton and then they brought it to the paper manufacturers. So it really, although it sort of looks like this sort of tranquil landscape, it's actually a very poignant landscape and really shows Irish poverty sort of at its worst. That was painted in 1900. So various themes occur in the exhibition. We have religion and religious traditions. We have William Connor going to Mass, but we also have a very rare painting by somebody called Diarmuid of St. Macdara's Pattern Day. Pattern Day is an Irish custom, and St. Macdara was the patron saint of Connemara fishermen, and they still celebrate that down in Connemara every year, where they all sail past his monument and they dip their sails in memory of him, and I think that takes place in July every year. But we have this work, as I said, showing the Pattern Day, and the Pattern Day is when they walk around the island and they're saying, "Deck it to the Rosary." And beside that we then have a work by Sir John Lavery. So Sir John Lavery is a depiction of St. Patrick's Purgatory in Lough in Donegal. Now, Lavery had, of course, gone along to Lough and had assumed that he was going to find nothing but Irish peasants, and he managed to, on one of the very few days that the sun does shine in Donegal, managed to go there where the sun shone for the whole duration of his 3 or 4 day visit, and he found, to his major disappointment, professional types, professors from England, as well as some of the ordinary country folk, but he had thought that everybody was going to, well, everybody is barefoot because it's part of the tradition on the island in Lough. But he was very disappointed that their dress and that they weren't sort of in country shawls and things like that. But the pictures are well documented, and the major work from that series is actually included in the Hugh Lane Gallery in Dublin. Politics enters the show to a certain extent. We have the iconic pikeman by Jerome Connor. Jerome Connor was an artist who was born in Enniscull in County Kerry. He emigrated to America when he was very, very young, and he became quite an established sculptor in America. He came back to Ireland in the 1920s, originally to do the Lusitanian Memorial, which is down in Cove, but he was also commissioned to do this piece, which was going to be in Tralee in County Kerry. Now, he deliberated over it for 10 years. This was his second maquette for the finished piece. to such a long extent that the committee actually took him to court and he became bankrupt. But a lot of people regard this as one of the finest pieces of sculpture in the early 20th century. And then again, probably an iconic work that has not been seen in public since the Charles Lamb retrospective in 1969. This work of the Connemara harvesters. This came about when we had a Charles Lamb show earlier this year. A local lady, came and informed us that she had this work, and I have to say it's probably one of Lamb's finest works, and she kindly went and agreed to lend it to us for the summer. And that's the significance, I think, about all the paintings that are in the show. Everything is being on loan from private collections. So it's exclusively from private collections, and these are pictures that the public never get a chance to see. And I think that's what people enjoy so much is, as I said, coming to see things that aren't normally available.